Hey everybody, welcome to an all-new episode of SCNS Live, the super cool nerd show. If you're watching this right now and you're thinking, she doesn't look that cool to me, you better keep your mouth shut, because I got a good thing going here.
I specifically was told by a friend recently that people with tattoos are cool.
Yay!
We got some!
It's there.
We promise.
Is it a show from super cool nerds or to super cool nerds? That's the real question.
Both.
From some of us are cooler than others. Anyway, so how's everybody's week been?
Oh, how's my weekend?
How's your week been?
Pretty terrible, but it's gonna get better hopefully.
What happened?
Huh?
What
I
happened?
don't want to talk about it on here, but I'll tell y'all later.
Then why bring it?
She did ask.
This is my emotional support network.
What is his name? Is it Optimus Prime?
Only Taijin.
Sure.
So not Optimus Prime.
My mom's
Not
name.
Optimus Prime.
It's not the Megazord?
It is a mecha from Super Sentai. Megazord is a gaijin phrase.
I thought Super Sentai was a genre.
No,
It is.
Satsu is a genre.
Sure.
I think you're thinking super hentai.
Super
10 times better.
That's just
than
when they're
regular
really
hentai.
big.
Captain America with
Tentacles.
tentacles.
Oh!
I just described a member of the Umbrella
You didn't call
Academy.
my counselor.
I also do think that fan fiction exists of that somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know
I
for
absolutely
so-
hope not. But then again, I do peruse
Have
Reddit,
you
so-
seen you've seen Overwatch porn? That will
Oh,
make
yeah.
every kind of porn for hentai.
Tentacles will be in any form of porn, just give
Oh,
it
this
enough
is just
time.
gone. This is just gone.
Speaking of tentacles,
Off the
did
rails
you
in
guys
2
see
minutes.
the D&D trailer for the new movie?
You'd be surprised to know that I actually have that queued up and ready to go.
And we'll talk
And,
about it.
Oh yeah, we're going to discuss this one.
Oh, yeah.
It is San Diego Comic-Con weekend. But there's news coming out, so hey, we're going to do our thing.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be there in the future.
There's
Do you want
all
to
kinds
say,
of-
a little bit butthurt that they
Oh, I'm very friggin' upset about it. But it is preview day, so don't expect nothing too big, but
Why do I look
we are
like
professionals?
What do you mean?
that?
I
I
am-
genuinely look like paper white. Like, how do you do that every week?
are you really complaining about how white you are on camera?
Yes.
I mean, you look like
I look like that. I look like
the character Death.
Which is something we also should talk about.
Because it's 2 weeks.
Because it's 2 weeks, and we got some pictures
Mhm.
that we forgot to put up.
If you want to not look like that, maybe no black lipstick.
Yeah, I suppose that is somewhat my
That's
fault.
gonna
Let me
happen.
get a little saturation there. There we go.
Hey, looks the same.
Now it looks like worse pictures of
I thought too much.
Yeah.
You flick too much.
Anyway,
Anybody see Thor yet?
No.
No,
I saw that you posted a review of it. Is that the same thing?
I saw all my friends who said it was bad.
Okay, here's the thing.
I haven't watched it yet.
Did those friends say Ragnarok was, or that? Yeah, did those say Ragnarok was good? Because if so, maybe they don't know good Thor movies.
I
Well, of
actually
course,
both.
I'm not going to
people
spoil it, but I'm just saying, people that are saying that it's goofy and it looks silly, and it's like, did you not watch the trailers? There's no point watching them trailers. I thought, I'm about to get a serious, thought-filled movie that's probably going to make me think about some of my life choices. No! It's going to be a big, dumb himbo swinging a hammer around.
Yep.
And muscly, well, which sadly, that was all CGI. I'm so sad.
Is Tuchus?
I'll talk more about Natalie Portman.
Oh, okay.
It was all
Anyway,
CGI.
Chris
Did you
Hemsworth,
know
but
he stopped eating meat on days he would kiss her because she's a vegan? I thought that was so
What?
sweet.
yeah.
What?
I like that.
Yeah,
He's
he's sweet.
super thoughtful. Like,
I love him.
Hemsworth, just,
Sweet
you
baby.
make us like you.
Yeah. Oh, every time.
I mean, not make us like him. He seems like a like. Also, I mean, can you imagine working on a set with him and Taika Waititi?
No. Children. Babies.
No,
that's not what I was thinking.
Oh, that too.
I mean, not Taika Waititi until Black Pearl.
Until
and then,
Our Flag Means Dead. And
yeah,
just
or not Black
there's
Pearl.
there's something very
Black
nice
Beard.
about him in that show. Which we're also going to discuss a little bit about
We'll get into that.
when we get to the the news.
But we do have, before we get to the news.
Yes, I was going to say, I don't do this show by myself. Hi, I'm Kat. Over here we
Cass, hello.
Hi, I'm Cora. I also totally have a tattoo that I did not draw on myself just now.
With a pencil?
I was
No, it was a
wondering. I was like, did she have that?
Yes.
And then behind the cameras, trying to make himself look pretty.
I'll show
right
off
now.
my ink. I have ink.
You have ink. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know his name.
We're comparing tattoos, you know.
We're talking about names, too.
Oh, I'm Jason X.
And then coming in as our guest star for this episode.
I guess I should have the drum roll or something.
We practiced this
I mean,
a lot
literally
of times.
anything.
He's been here enough
Come back
times.
in so you can do it.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing it. Get over there.
It's going to sound terrible.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage sounds.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi
Welcome
there.
back
Hello.
to the show.
Thank you.
You
Okay, everybody.
are
It's Danny
here.
Gallagher.
Do I have a little name tag like the news?
Absolutely
I
not.
sadly didn't make you one.
Oh, okay. That's
I thought you said Sally didn't.
yeah. I
make
thought
you
I
one.
heard Sally
And I was
for a
like,
second.
Sally, the new production assistant who would blame everything on. I'm down.
I
I
heard,
thought he was
Yes.
describing in what way he didn't make him one.
Yes.
He was like, I'm not going to make him a...
I heard I
Professor.
Sally did not.
That's technically how you're supposed to use
It's like
adverbs.
the first time
Like
the
this.
case
Yes.
for a little while. I'm enjoying this.
Anyway. But yes, coming off the success of his recent event and gearing
I
up
found
for
this in
next
the
one.
living room.
Which I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that event, Danny. I was very happy to attend
Yes.
and watch Reefer Madness for the first time ever. Holy
oh, that's
crap.
right. I forgot it was your first time.
Holy crap. I mean, not only was I entertained by the straight riffing of this movie, I am really disappointed in white people after watching this movie. I thought,
From the 30s. Let's be fair.
you know, the dancing scenes in that movie just made me, I wonder where Eddie Murphy got all that material from. Oh.
Yeah, and it's where you did not see the full. We cut stuff out. That
Yep.
I won't even mention what we cut out because it's like there's no way we can.
How
make
dare
fun
you
of this.
deny me the
No,
unfinished
when-
experience of this masterpiece?
When you see what we cut out, you'll be like, oh yeah, if I were you, I would have cut that.
1934?
Yeah.
That's right.
30, 34.
It had a young Mitch McConnell in it.
Yeah.
He was only 35 then.
Yeah.
Really? I was like,
That would at least be educational. You know, we could have seen where evil came from.
But it
It's
was,
good to see a portal.
Yeah, right.
it was a great turnout. Tell me about who were all your people on the crew? By the way?
Nicholas Harris announced and ran things and helped write the show. Liz Barksdale, Jonna Rodriguez, and I also wrote and we riffed. Jonna Rodriguez from Dallas Comedy Club and and Liz from Dallas Comedy Club. Yeah, we started 5 years ago, 3 if you don't count the pandemic. And
We don't.
I don't. I really
I
don't.
mean, we did other stuff. We did what we could online, but it wasn't much.
Yeah.
Same.
It's a
Until we
rough
figured
thing,
out,
yeah.
we can stream movies, just don't charge people for it.
Well, it was awful. It was very entertaining.
Thank you.
It was a good turnout too.
Yes, we had over
Texas,
100.
Texas Theater, right?
Well, they pretty much packed the house.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
more
Texas
than
Theater was a huge help.
And he was concerned about
it's more
people
than
not showing up.
800% your last last audience,
Yes.
according to
Our
the
last
numbers you
audience,
gave me.
our last 3 shows combined, or the one before this one, last 3 shows combined was 12. And it's being generous.
I was just going with percentages because nobody was going to do that.
It was the venues wasn't the right. It just we worked best in. It was our first movie theater show, which is what we've been wanting to do since we started.
Tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about the premise. So, like, what is it's Mocky Horror Picture
Yeah,
Show?
so it's
What is
movie
that?
riffing. We make fun of a movie while you're watching it, but we come up with. If you've ever been to a Rocky Horror Picture Show live, you know they yell lines. The audience, the entire audience yells lines at the
Throws
screen and throws.
popcorn.
So we've come up with
spoons,
ways to do that for other movies. So we put a prompt on the screen that says "yell this" or "do this" or "make this noise," and then we time it. We time the point where whatever you're doing makes the joke work.
That's really cool, because my one kind of issue with some of the Rocky Horror Picture Shows that I've been to is that I don't go very often, so I don't know the line. I don't know how to make fun of this particular moment, and so I would kind of appreciate if they told me what to do.
And they did that at one of the ones
They
we
did,
went
yeah.
to. They put it on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Show,
It made it
and
more fun.
is
I was like,
really
because when we
helpful.
started, we are like, how do we do this?
Yeah.
Because they don't do that in Mocky. So we had to invent a way to do, or not invent a way. We put our own graphics up. but having never edited a movie, like I had to learn how to do that. But yeah, we had. It was at one point I think we were gonna like print.
cue cards?
No, like what do you call them at baseball programs, and put the time mark on them, and then we're like, wait a minute, they can't see what time it is. Like it was like impossible. We did it. We tried so many different ways to do it.
I mean, honestly, that's the absolute best way.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
not a little task to learn how to edit. Just to do that, like that's impressive.
Well, this was when all I had was iMovie.
Ooh.
Yeah, try doing a 90-minute movie in iMovie. It's torture.
As a professional editor, I have tried to use iMovie.
I finally learned Adobe. So,
and as a shitty editor, I'll say,
no, iMovie isn't like it's hard.
I'm the
it's
shitty
super
editor.
hard. No, I know.
iMovie's like if you want to make home movies and you don't care how it looks,
basically,
right? Or really rudimentary YouTube.
Also, to whoever it was that was trying to joke along with them while they were doing their jokes.
Oh, I wasn't.
You're not funny. No. Shut up.
Yeah, she's not invited back.
I said it, and I was like, lowered my. Oh, you okay? So apparently, I didn't say it that quiet.
Because the whole time I'm like, just go, like you just plow ahead. Hecklers, you don't, unless they get really disruptive, you just ignore them and they go away.
Right.
And she.
I don't have that. I don't have that same.
No. You're in the audience. You have the perfect right to do it. Yeah, I wasn't going to bring that up, but yeah, and that's the funny part is she complained that we should let the whole audience do line, and I'm like, were you not? Did you not read? Did you not listen? We do very explicit instructions. You know, explain how you have to explain how the show works. Otherwise, it's like they don't get it, and it kind of warms us up. And and she was like, I understood that it was you could yell out whatever line you wanted.
Well, you were wrong.
And she did it anyway. So, and her name's Karen.
Oh, wow!
I'm not going to say her real name.
I mean,
the fact I said she, I feel like is giving her too much. You know.
I mean, it's Karen now.
Yeah.
You should tell her. Yes, anybody can yell out lines if they're funny, but you didn't.
Unfortunately.
And that's what. Our very very first show we did at Allcon, and kind of. It was like a lesson learned show. Like there's where you make not that all kinds bad or anything. Like it's a
great testing platform.
Yeah, I mean,
a great testing.
You don't know like what the show's going to be like, so you just go with whatever. And that was the only other time we had someone who wanted to shout their own lines, and everything was a fart. Everything was I farted. Oh, that guy farted. Oh, there's smoke. Oh, here comes a fart. Like, yeah.
There's not a lot of things Rocky Horror is better than, but it's better than only fart jokes.
Yeah.
Well, much to everyone's surprise, apparently Texas Theater has asked you to do this shit again.
I know, right?
Hey! What's next?
Oh, so we get to now.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, we've been over this ground before.
So this is a big one for us. First of all, it's one we never thought we'd be able to do because you have to actually pay for it. Mm-hmm. And up until now, we've done public domain movies. Although the last one was a restoration cut. But the Texas Theater, originally we were going to do Samurai Cop, which we'll get to someday. Based on because I watched right after we talked, I was like, I have to see what this movie is, and my jaw hit the floor at how bad it was. But the owner said I can get you something a lot better, and he got us Mac and Me.
Really?
Oh my god!
Are you serious?
Yeah. That's from MGM, like. Top of the line, as good as top of the line as Mac and Me can be. So yeah, we're gonna roast Mac and Me on September 3rd. So it's a Labor Day weekend too.
I can't go.
Oh well, there's one.
Well,
is this like I can't go see Morpheus the third time they bring it
back? I love it. That's the first
genuine.
Words were uttered after I announced my show. I can't.
I'm
go.
so sorry. I'm a Bachelorette.
Well, I guess we'll cancel.
You're on the Bachelorette.
I was
going on a Bachelorette weekend.
Oh, I got you.
So I was 10 years old when this movie came out.
Yeah.
And this is the first bad movie
that
springs to my mind as a kid.
First movie,
for people that don't know, can you tell us what Mac and Me
is? If E.T. had a stomach disorder and coughed up another movie, that would be. It's a straight ripoff of E.T.
Straight ripoff.
It pretends not to be, but it's. I mean, with the exception of the ending, which still sucks. Not E.T., Mac and Me. It's about an alien and his family who look like chewed bubble gum with the face of a blow-up doll. Gets sucked in. They literally get sucked into a space probe and brought back to Earth, and they escape and hook up with this family. The Elliot, I can't remember. The Elliot in this one is named Eric. They didn't even give him a different initial. They just like, what's another E word? What's another E name? Eric. That's perfect.
If you've ever seen Paul Rudd promoting a movie on Conan, then you have seen part of Mac and Me because he famously.
I mean, everybody knows the movie.
Is that what the movie?
Yes,
it's from Mac and Me.
Oh my goodness!
For those that don't know, the clip is at some point. Eric is in a wheelchair, and he actually is a real. I don't know. I think he has spina bifida or something in the real life. So it's like, okay, they gave an actor to a
Let me tell you the real problem.
But when he goes off the cliff in his wheelchair,
and Mac just
it's like he's slowly going down a hill, and then all of a sudden he goes through some brushes and just falls straight off a cliff, and not even like out. It's like clearly they just dropped him, and I'm like, this is a kids movie. This is supposed to be for families, and we see this horrific thing.
They probably just
pushed a real kid off the cliff.
That's not how this movie made. Well, its collective box office was $6 million.
Are you serious?
It was still a huge.
Does not cut. It's still losing money to this day.
Even that, though, I'm surprised it got that much.
Well, it's
terrible. Yeah.
You know what's so bad though? I went to the movies.
We're paying the money for it, so we're helping.
They're like, "Ooh, a drop in the bucket." But when this movie came out, me and my cousins wanted to go to the movie. My aunt was very religious and not getting. So you know what other movie was playing in the theater that we wanted to see? Highlander 2: The Quickening.
Oh.
And we were denied. We thought we were going to see Highlander.
You were screwed
and we
either
get
way.
there, she's like, "Oh, that rating, no, that's too old for y'all. We'll go see this one. It's Mac and Me. It's got an alien." And we're all sitting there like, we came to see Highlander. 4 innocent kids. We're just like, no. So we're now sitting there just like watching this.
You didn't know how bad it was.
This farce.
It was the first movie. I think I was 10. It was the first movie I said out loud, "This sucks."
Thank you.
And then the rest of my life.
It's where we learned that life is so unfair.
Yes, we learned that life is cruel. And I was laughing. Honestly, when he fell off the cliff, I was laughing because I just was like, funny. As a kid, I was. First of all, it's objectively funny. Not a real person in a wheelchair falling, but the fact that it's in this
garbage
kids movie,
yeah.
And it's worse because the theater next to us was playing Highlander, and we could hear Queen blasting.
That's rough.
We're just like,
we got B-list alien over
I
here.
hate Mac and Me just for that experience.
But you're going to go see it on September
That's
3rd.
the reason I hate pro baseball. It's just it took up the screen time for stuff I wanted to watch.
And my mom had the nerves. Y'all didn't like the movie? I'm never taking y'all to the movies again. It's
you're like, it's objectively a bad
happens,
movie.
Yeah, maybe we're good.
She's going to make... I guarantee she would have taken you to Space Jam too.
Wow.
I made 11
which I was pulling for hard. I don't dislike Space Jam. I'm a Looney Tunes fan first.
Yeah,
we were all pulling for Space Jam too.
And
we all
and
were.
LeBron. Like, how can you not? I get some people don't like LeBron. How can you not like?
No.
Like, what was that movie he was in with?
Oh my God, he was in another movie. I hate to think.
He was in A Trainwreck with Amy
Bill
Schumer.
Hader and Amy.
He played himself. But like he was fun, like he was just naturally funny.
Bill Hader was really mad because
James
is
he was like he never trained,
screen,
he never did improv,
like,
he knew all the
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, this might be good, and then again at Mac and Me.
With that kind of hatred of Mac and Me, they share it there. You ready to just rip this movie a new one?
Oh yeah, we've already started.
Can we get a sample? What's your line from when that famous wheelchair scene happens?
We haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, come on!
Well, no, we have. So we have a. No, I take it back. We have a audience line, but I don't want to spoil it. It's the first joke I came up with, came up with. I pitched it and we worked it out together.
I've got to pitch a couple to you.
It's a prop joke, but I'm not going to say what it is because it's really, it's the perfect amount of bad taste and funny.
I had this is what everyone wishes would happen to Greg Abbott. Just throwing that out there.
Or Madison Cawthorn.
I pitched as a joke. So we used to do sketches. We used to do sketches in the middle. You know, like at Mystery Science Theater, they go back into the cockpit and talk about them. And I pitched one where I was like, what if somebody dresses up as Mac and Me? And it turns out and Greg Abbott wants to kick him out of the state. And I won't say where I took it beyond that because it was. Yeah. And then at this point, I pitched the most appropriate. You have to pitch the most inappropriate joke in the writer's meeting so you can get to the good jokes. But once I do that,
to
I'm
find
like,
where the
oh,
line
this is
is.
really bad. Let's see how far. And I took it to a place I'm embarrassed to even mention that I brought it up.
Embarrassed and a little bit proud because, like,
It's Greg
definitely-
Abbott, but I don't wish harm on anybody.
I mean,
Me neither.
yeah.
But
No, I mean,
for the sake
honestly,
of
like-
being on
joking
YouTube
about harm is
right now.
sometimes.
I didn't
fun.
applaud when Rush Limbaugh died. Well, a little bit. I threw a party, okay? No. I mean, I took it.
Okay, it was a
I took
rave.
it to a very, very inappropriate place, and then was like, "Yeah, we probably shouldn't do that."
All right. So, do we have
But
a?
that's a good.
Do we have a set date for this show?
Yes,
September 3rd,
September 3rd, 10 p.m. Labor Day weekend,
Texas Theater.
Texas Theater in Oak
Nice.
Cliff.
Do people need tickets in advance? Can they? Get there?
Tickets aren't up yet, but they will be at thetexastheater.com, and we'll post them on our face. Go to mockyhorror.com. That'll take you to
I have the image up right
our
now.
Facebook page. Oh, great! I just made that poster like an hour ago.
that's
You can see it.
that's rough. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got our show up.
We didn't.
Yeah, that's
there's a
rough.
lot of stuff I wanted to do to it, and I just was like,
It's creepy
let's
enough.
save it for
That's
the show.
creepy enough.
There's another one of him like on his shoulders, and he's got his hands over his eyes, and it's really that could be sausage.
No, thank you.
It's really
Bad touch.
I tell people it's not as bad as you think. It's worse. And it hasn't aged well. The jokes don't work. Nothing works.
Those can be really fun. It looks like one of those like feature films for families.
It was. It was like
Was
trying
it?
to be. It was like I think
It
it
was
came
just
out
really
like
bad.
The Wizard, and it's like The Wizard. I know The Wizard is loved, but it's clearly just a big commercial for McDonald's.
Yeah.
There's one scene where they sneak. They dress up Mac to hide him in a truly hilarious way, and they go into a McDonald's, and the guy that plays Ronald McDonald is there entertaining kids. And it's just every scene you look, there's a McDonald's logo. There's a menu. Oh, there's a Big Mac. It's like, I get it.
Like,
you want me to go to
Josie and the
McDonald's?
Pussycats?
Yes, it might as well be.
But just
And then
McDonald's?
it breaks out into a musical number.
Like
So
Very-
Josie and the
in the
Pussycats.
McDonald's. Like it's
But
I
Josie and the Pussycats is hilarious.
It's very
and
it's,
specifically
it's more
satire
satirical. This
of
is
that,
this
yeah.
is blatant, like by Coke and and it's and to be fair, E.T. had the Reese's Pieces. This one has Skittles, as if we wouldn't figure out what that's about.
We're supposed
Coca-Cola and McDonald's.
We're supposed
McDonald's.
to buy Coke?
Yeah, they
I
poured a
thought that
ton.
was the message of
They
blow.
they poured a ton of money in the movie.
It's not the message. Whoa, you might have watched it wrong. That's cool. Do you have any other movies that you know you're going to be able to do, or that you think you might be able to do in the future?
No, we just started with the Texas. We were surprised that they were able to get this movie. Usually we go through AGFA, the American Genre Film Archive, founded by Tim League. They have like all the old cheesy movies. I really want to do Deathbed, the Bed That Eats. It's about a bed.
Oh, I know
and
this movie.
And it eats people.
It-
That's literally the entire
For real?
movie. Yes.
Okay.
It's a bed. It's infested with a demon.
It's
And when you lay on it,
Who is it these days?
it some kind of acid burns.
So
It
they're-
literally looks like they went to Spirit Halloween and bought props for special effects. It's hilarious.
I love
love
those.
it.
Well,
I
have to watch it.
cosplayers on a very deep level,
Yes.
which
Yeah,
works
yeah.
for you.
I love horror movies that are like that. That
yeah,
are
me
just
too.
so bad.
I mean, we were talking about Evil Dead.
Oh yeah,
That's very much the vibe.
you could do the first Evil Dead, not the second one. Second one's my personal favorite,
Same.
but the first one you could get away with.
What about
Yeah.
Army of Darkness? Is it too easy
It's
to even
too-
try?
yeah.
So it's
It's not even
good?
really a horror movie. It's more an action
No.
movie.
Yeah.
I actually showed it
And it's
to.
barely that.
I showed it to an
It's the same,
ex-girlfriend
like-
who liked horror movies, and she could not. She could not.
It's
She
so
couldn't
stupid.
finish it, and I'm like, "That's the point. That's what makes it great."
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Wait, we'll get to the Three Stooges part." And she's like, "I definitely don't want to watch this."
And I liked Army of Darkness
And we
before
broke
I liked horror movies.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, me too.
Like, yeah, it's definitely not. But
Yeah.
as the third installment, I could bring my Ash puppet. I have the Ash
Oh, the
replica
slashy Ashy
puppet
puppet?
from the
Nice.
show. I want to have him interview people in the future. I think it'd be dope.
All right.
Anyway, so that's Mocky Horror, September 3rd. Keep your eye on mockyhorror.com and all the socials. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to share with us about that?
It costs money. I don't know what the ticket price is yet. They're pretty reasonable. For Mac. Well, you're not paying to watch Mac. You're paying us to watch us make fun of it.
It is not reasonable for Mac and Me, no matter what the cost is.
I mean,
it's reasonable for people making fun of Mac and Me.
Exactly. I'm willing to update everybody.
Yeah, it's okay. Dude, I owe so many. So he mentioned last time I was freaking out that nobody would show up. I realized a few weeks before the last show that the what day it was. Whatever date it was, it fell on July 4th weekend, and I was like, I gotta start. I gotta do something. Like I gotta start promoting. So I called everybody I knew, including Jason.
It was July 1st.
Was it? Yeah, that's right. It was July 1st. Or no.
It was 4 days after I found out I had.
Oh, you were fine.
I think it was July 2nd.
Shut up.
Maybe it was July 1st. Whatever.
Anyway.
Yeah, you're right. July 4th was on a Tuesday.
Monday.
That was Monday. Oh, then it would have been July 2nd. Close enough.
Nerd news?
Nerd news. So, yeah, keep an eye on MockyHorror.com, and now we're going to move on to some super cool nerd news.
Oh, the music. I feel like I'm in a waiting.
So, as my mother said to me the first time after I got home from Saturday with a bunch of dice, let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons. So, San Diego Comic-Con has started, and pretty much out of the gate, we got a trailer for the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, Honor Among Thieves. I have to write out I wrote Honor Amongst Thieves, and that's incorrect.
You're not allowed to do that in sans serif fonts.
We have a pretty star-studded cast, if I'm being honest. We have Chris Pine, and I will say what I think, at least, they're playing. Chris Pine playing what I think is a bard.
It's been released.
Okay. Michelle Rodriguez, I think, is a barbarian. Justice Smith as what I think is a wizard.
Justice Smith is not a wizard.
Warlock?
I think.
Sorcerer?
Wizard, Warlock, Sorcerer were my three guesses.
No, but I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Either way.
I don't know. This guy's French. Roger Jean Page as what I think is a fighter.
Sorcerer. Somebody's a sorcerer. He's a rogue. The other guy's a sorcerer.
We're trying to figure out their classes and talk about them.
No. It's been released. He's a sorcerer.
Okay.
He's a rogue.
Awesome. And Sophia Lillis as was pretty clearly a druid.
Just Keyleth.
It's just as the article that I read said, Kaelith from Critical Role. A couple of things that I wanted to mention that I found out in kind of various interviews. Sophia Lillis, who you might know from It, is very comfortable and very aware that you're here because of Critical Role. They said they had a huge amount of thanks to give to kind of live playing Critical Role, The Adventure Zone, Dimension 20, all these shows. They're very aware that this is why this movie is being made. Even the directors were saying that they were fans of Critical Role, and they specifically said we are going to get a cameo from a significant D&D person.
I read this article, the same one, I'm sure of it now.
And, well, they also said, I was watching some of the panel, and, they said, basically, significant.
It's gotta be Matt. It's gotta be Matt Mercer.
Yeah, they said a significant D&D person, they were like, oh, just also, we're fans of Critical Role, and I was like, okay, so it's Matthew. It's just Matt Mercer.
I thought it was going to be the guy that invented dice.
Yeah. That seems unlikely because the sarcophagus they haven't found yet.
Yeah.
I didn't say he was alive. They can
just
still prop a body up.
But yeah.
And move him around.
I mean, that would be pretty cool. It's like a museum exhibit to boot.
I promise the show's funnier than
March 2023.
March 2023.
Damn. This is what I hate about the SDCC trailers, because it's like it could be in next year. You could still get a preview of something next San Diego Comic-Con for this movie.
Yeah, because you get those kind of, and then you get some other trailers that are like, and this is coming out 3 weeks from now, and you never know until that date comes up.
So what are your thoughts on this? Because maybe I should stop reviewing movies because I look like I'll be entertained by this.
I mean, it's got nowhere to go from the
2000.
the 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans and whoever the other kid was.
Oh my god, I never saw that.
It was bad. It was so bad.
I haven't seen.
Oh, Jeremy Irons.
The whole
What?
thing.
Jeremy Irons and
Yeah.
Dylan Wayne.
As a dragon. Right?
Like,
I watched the first
I never
10.
thought those two names would ever be put together in like a game of charades.
I watched the first 10 minutes. Was so confused about what was happening because I'd also never played Dungeons and Dragons, and it was made for people who had only played Dungeons and Dragons.
But even they hated it.
And well, even they hated it. But the thing is, I was so incredibly lost. It was not accessible to me,
See,
so I turned it off.
I want to watch it now just to see if it's accessible. Bad.
Here's our riffing movie. Yeah.
I mean, it is. Jokes don't land.
I will say this to me.
Okay.
Looks like they went a little too far the other way. In that this looked very generic too. This looked like every fantasy movie I've seen for the past 10 years. Yes, they have an owl bear. It doesn't look like an owl bear, but whatever. It just looked like a very generic fantasy movie, and coming out of the Critical Role, which was both very accessible but also very specific to D&D. I think I may have set the bar too high when it comes to D&D stories.
You think it looks generic? How do you mean?
Like Warcraft.
I mean, it looks like Warcraft. It looks like the new
what
Lord of the
I
Rings
thought.
trailers. It kind of looks like every fantasy movie I've seen for a long time.
As opposed to, I'm just
As opposed to specific, and this will get more kind of down into the nitty gritty of it, but as opposed to things that I specifically recognize from Dungeons and Dragons, the only thing that they mentioned was an owlbear, which doesn't look like an owlbear. And so
I thought that was exactly.
I mean, what does look like an owlbear?
Is it not?
That's how they look now, honestly.
Oh, there are, because that's what I always figured was the challenge with a Dungeons and Dragons movies, that you're never going to please fans because it takes place in your head. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
everybody that goes into this has their own
I just
mind's eye of it.
on that point, for me personally, I got the opposite impression because pre-credit or pre-opening slide, this is the trailer for the new Dungeons and Dragons. There's like 5 seconds of content before they're like, this is the D&D trailer, right?
Okay.
There was a gelatinous cube, displacer beast, arena combat challenge, helm of destruction, portable hole, dragon that's not red, shield spell, psychic damage, and fireball. That's before the first.
That's the list of Acme products from Roger Rabbit.
Uh-huh.
Portable holes are a thing in the...
In D&D?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was.
I meant that as a joke, but I was like, I didn't think there was crossover. Okay.
I don't know.
That's kind of cool.
To me, but I couldn't see it until the third time I watched the trailer. I just sat there and like...
Should I about right here?
No, it's at the end of the trailer.
No, it's before in the 5 seconds.
Do I need to play it again?
No, we've got it over here.
Okay.
Is this the same one? Maybe it wasn't.
That's where I'm thinking maybe you saw something that I didn't, because I saw
very beginning of the trailer.
Yeah,
that was the
very
very
beginning of the trailer that I saw.
And the show has moved into a trailer breakdown.
Hang on, I just want to make sure it's the same trailer.
It literally starts with them on the cliffside.
I saw a helmet and a city.
I can understand how y'all say it looks a little bit generic because also they're trying to bring people in who are not D&D players.
Yeah.
To watch this movie.
You have to.
But just the first.
Because I still get people that look at me and go,
economically, you have to.
But yeah.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Playing D&D with friends. And they're like, oh. It's like, yes, that's the most exciting part of my weekend. Kiss my ass.
Well, that is the most exciting part of my weekend. But also, there is a certain amount of stupidity that comes with D&D. And this, to me, was very grand. And I think that's where I was saying, I think my standards were set too high because I got the Critical Role. They're all stupid from the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was a teaser. What do you think, Cora?
I think that it's a good teaser. I mean, we still have a whole year before the movie comes out. And really all this does is set up that we're going to be having a Dungeons and Dragons movie. It doesn't set up all that much about the characters, the world, or the story we have. It sets up the base premise of a story, and like very surface level stuff about the characters and images, but we don't have, like, I feel like later we're going to get more of a feel for these everything. This is good to drum up interest, and then later we're going to get more into the nitty-gritty of what the actual humor is going to be like, what the characters are going to be like, what the story is going to pan out to be. Because just because they have all of those different scenes doesn't mean that they have a full story made.
Well, was the CGI done even enough to show?
Yeah.
Like, because it's clearly heavily CGI.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And like a lot of the beasts and stuff, maybe they don't have done yet. I was impressed with a non-fire breathing dragon.
I was actually very excited that they picked a black dragon.
Yeah.
Which doesn't breathe fire.
Yeah, acid.
Breathes acid, which is very fun because it's something very D&D, and it's not something that's in typical fantasy.
That's what I thought, is it was a departure from...
Yeah, because like everyone is expecting the big red dragon. I guarantee there will probably be a red dragon in there somewhere. It's one of the most iconic monsters in D&D and just in fantasy in general. But I'm glad that our first dragon was a black one. It was a different dragon. And I think that maybe will also open up the door for like seeing other dragons.
I will say I am 100% happy to be proved wrong and for it to be a both accessible and specific enough to please the D&D fans.
I'm actually concerned. I was a tiny bit concerned the other way, that it was all going to be fan service at the expense of plot. Did that trailer reference that they're in so much trouble because they accidentally released a dude?
As they said, it was they stole something they shouldn't have and gave it to someone they shouldn't have. So, I mean, that still fits with
the classic experience.
Yeah. So, like, the plot has already started how every D&D campaign usually goes, is we've done something stupid and now we have to fix it. And honestly, like, if they told me, yeah, so we either played this game and we're just making a movie of the game we played, or we just had a set of dice at all times and just rolled it to see what happens and went with that, I would believe both of those things and it would be very appropriate. There's actually a comic that did that.
It's for the Adventure Zone, right?
No. I mean, there is that, but it's based on the show. No, there's a comic by an artist on Twitter named Kroove. The comic is called By the Die, and so By the Die. So funny. They had like certain points planned out where they would roll the die and see what would happen, and whatever happens was happen. And it is so funny, and the art is so good. And I'm hoping they did that for this movie.
I was amused to read an article that said Hugh Grant described himself as an overly enthusiastic dungeon master, and I'm like, oh, really?
That's not the kind of dungeon he meant.
Wow.
Oh.
He said he hasn't really played Dungeons and Dragons. He was talking about the other kind of dungeon.
Anyway, so there's the dragons next year.
Sophia Lillis said that she plays D&D all the time, and Chris Pine said that he started.
Chris Pine said that he didn't play for a long time, and it just reminded me of this whole thing that I saw last night that was talking about nerd homework. Mm-hmm. You have to have, like, reading the Wheel of Time series or finishing the Avatar movie. Stuff like that. Anyway, I'm excited. I think it could be good.
It definitely has a lot, like, the trailer has a lot going for it, and even if it ends up being a generic fantasy movie, at least it's better than what we got before.
It's kind of weird to see that guy, the French guy, he's from Bridgertown, or Bridgerton, or whatever.
I just remember it was the Gossip Girl that was set in, like, the 1800s or the 1700s or something.
It was just the hottest. He kept me watching for part of the first season. I got bored and wandered away, but he's real hot. Yeah. But anyway, yes, D&D. If you came to the show and didn't expect us to talk about that trailer for so long, then where have you been? Who else has stories to talk about?
You need to go to core.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just do the one that I dressed for, because
Jason had to ride over in the car with you.
Look, you were the one that started making mountains out of molehills about what I said. Thank you very much. So, it is no secret we're going to be getting a live-action YuYu Hakasho series to Netflix. I don't remember the date that it'll be released, but that's okay because we got some images of our main 4 actors. We have an image here of Takumi Kitamura as Yosuke Urameshi. We have Jun Shison as Kurama. We have Kanada Hongo as Hiei, and we have Shuhei Uesugi as Kuwabara. They look fine. Look, regardless of this, I'm still going to watch this series because I have a lot of enthusiastic optimism hoping that it'll be good because I love YuYu Hakasho, if y'all didn't know this. I know it's a shock. But only 2 of the 4 look really good. And I have problems with the other 2. So, Yusuke...
Is it the green and the pink that you think look good?
No, it's the green and the black that I think look good.
Yeah.
The blue and the pink are the ones where I have problems. I can make concessions for pink. I can make concessions for Kurama. I think he could be prettier, but there's no way we can make him pretty enough because he's gorgeous. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
This isn't appropriate, but I just sat on this.
Oh, no.
For like 2 minutes.
Found
I was like,
our booby trap.
is that me or the chair? Sorry. Completely inappropriate. And
Can you check the tracking chip that goes on the end of that?
Yeah.
It's inappropriate to have it on your chair, so you're forgiven.
I just thought it'd be funny. Not to sit on it, but to announce it.
Yeah, but Kurama will never be as pretty as he is in the show because that's just not possible, but his hair looks off and it bothers me, but I can deal with it. And Kuwabara, the blue one, he's not ugly enough. He's too hot. Like, that feels like a really weird critique, but it's actually a thing that they bring up constantly in the show, is that he's not attractive.
That's what I thought about Peter Dinklage as Tyrion. So,
Yeah,
Hearing
I
her
understand
lamentations about this as I'm driving in traffic
Yeah.
were highly entertaining.
Well, look
Especially how Warren
No, they're all pretty
enough.
hot.
like bring up the other image. Bring up the other one.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Bring up the side by side, please. Like, I'm not gonna harp on like every single little detail. That's just they're not
Yes,
gonna be able
to.
Will you let me talk?
Not all on the show.
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna harp about every little detail. Yeah, that's him. But yeah, I feel like he's a little bit too attractive. As we young folks say, he's been yassified,
Yeah.
and it just feels weird. Like, this show still looks like it's going to be great. Make no mistake that it still looks good, and I know that these are early production photos. I know that this isn't like the final. But dang it, they got their main character perfect, and that's all we can really ask for.
The
Like,
green one. Yeah,
the
that's
green
what I
one.
figured.
But then again, if you messed up Yusuke, who's the only one that looks normal in the crew, then you wouldn't be able to get anyone else right. Well, we still don't know anything more about it other than the cast and these images. I'm still excited. Make no mistake, I am still very excited.
I did try to find your release date. I could not find it.
Yeah, there's not one yet. We also do still have the One Piece live action series that is in development as well. I have higher hopes for Yu Yu Hakusho than I do One Piece.
Okay, that's
You were
what I
gonna
was
say.
I thought you were going to say the opposite. And I was like,
No. Now, I will say, apparently, the One Piece series, they have given that series the biggest budget of anything they've ever given anything.
That's fair.
So I do still think it will look nice, but I think it's going to have some odd CGI when it comes to some of the character designs because they legitimately look like monsters. There's a whole arc.
Yep.
There's a whole arc of shark people, like, and I mean, and of course Luffy's whole power to like balloon himself whenever he feels like
Real
it.
creepy.
Real creepy. Real weird.
Kirby.
Yeah, like, he is Kirby, just instead of, like, eating something and gaining their power, he just goes, whoop, or stretches to the ends of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Real weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
It could be good.
I still think that both series are going to end up being fine. The One Piece series, even if it is bad, will get 20 seasons because that fan base is so loyal. We'll see about YuYu Hakasho, which does have a loyal fan base, but we're old. I'm on the younger end of that fan base.
I mean, so they have a fan base with disposable income, at least. Because you got to be older than millennials to get that.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah, I do think that they should have just bought the wigs off the stage play folks, because they were perfect. And if they're gonna look like wigs anyway, might as well make them look like good ones.
I mean, with anime, isn't that half the appeal? Is that your wigs can look like wigs?
Yeah,
they might as well. They could be EVA foam for. It wouldn't even matter sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see.
What else? Speaking of budgets, what else canceled thing got a budget to make a new show and maybe a Paramount Plus movie?
Okay. So we're gonna talk about this. So, it's you.
Is it you?
Is it you? Because I have one too. Go ahead.
Oh no. I got.
He was next on the roster.
I've got. Deadline got a list of the movies that will be being presented for San Diego Comic-Con and Hall H by Marvel. On top of this is going to be, we're going to see something for Fantastic Four, something for Blade, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and the Marvels, and another movie that was on the list that wasn't announced called The Mutants.
Really?
So it appears that the MCU is not going with X-Men. The introductory movie will be called. This is on an official sheet that came out. So we're going to see something this weekend. Apparently, the Mutants.
Maybe it's like
they're not
a
called the
prequel
X-Men until the end of the movie or something.
This is their Muppet Babies.
I'm thinking.
Not that. I don't mean that.
Yeah.
I meant that seriously, but it came out funny.
What I really think this is something to throw us off the trail, like whatever they named Star Wars. Trying to hide it, but also. You couldn't do any better than the Mutants?
I also think it's a way for them to separate this franchise from the original X-Men movies.
That's a good idea.
Because if you start calling them X-Men as well, you kind of get the confusion that Spider-Man gets from time to time. Where like, oh, have you seen the new Spider-Man movie? Or have you seen the first Spider-Man movie? And they're referring to the first Tom Holland movie, not Jerry Maguire's Spider-Man or Tobey Maguire. Jesus.
And we have seen them do that.
I want to see Tom Cruise do Spider-Man.
With the other X-Men movies from Fox. We saw X-Men 1, 2, and then First Class and Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But could it be something?
Origins. We'll
not
try
X-Men. Could it be what's the X-Force or is it possible? I know everybody wants X-Men, but
I kept thinking about the joke that Deadpool said in Deadpool 2 about what a sexist name. We're calling this one
X-Force. They did.
Right. That's what I thought.
They also did announce, this is in my San Diego Comic-Con tidbits, that Deadpool 1 and 2 and Logan are going to be on Disney Plus tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Wow. If they're putting Deadpool on there, they're making Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's...
They saw that money. They want it.
Disney had never seen some money they don't want.
I thought I heard they were going to make Deadpool a crossover. Or finally do an MCU Deadpool crossover where he goes and messes with the other.
That would be dope.
They should.
As like how I put it, as like how Ant-Man showed up in Civil War. I thought that's. I may not be remembering that right.
I think it was a rumor or
probably just a rumor
or a want.
I believe Marvel's presentation is going 3 p.m. Pacific time in Hall H. So we'll see.
On what day?
Saturday. It's gonna. Theirs is on Saturday. I believe DC is actually preceding them with whatever they're doing. Which that leads me into some other news that may be coming out of Hall H this weekend. Cass, what do you got?
There's a rumor, speaking of DC, that Henry Cavill's going to show up and announce that he is doing more Superman. Do we have the thirsty picture that I sent you?
Why did you send me?
Because it's Henry Cavill and it's what he deserves.
I was thinking. I was thinking of Jim Caviezel.
No.
Henry Cavill. That's the wrong guy. Anyway, that guy's never going to work.
The thirsty picture.
Yes,
very
yes.
much.
He does
look
a little bit like
he does.
Jim Caviezel in that shot.
We know for sure that Shazam and Black Adam are going to be in the DC panel, but hopefully we'll get a little Witcher action up in here because I love his Superman. I don't think he was written well, but I think he's amazing.
Question. Not Jack Snyder? What's his name?
Zack.
Zack Snyder. Is Zack Snyder anywhere near any of this?
No, thank you.
Okay, good.
That's a hope for me. I'm really not sure.
I really don't.
I mean, as long as it's not
going to be
Whedon.
one of the 35 producers on it, though.
Sure. It better not be.
No, it won't be.
They've never heard
rough.
the
He's done.
phrase "too many cooks in the kitchen."
No, they have not.
DC is not. They're not.
I can take just about any other director.
Even like it's to me, it's there's too many people with oversight into how these movies go,
Right.
and when you take some of them away, you get movies closer to Wonder Woman
And the Suicide Squad, which James Gunn had pretty much complete control
Which
over,
actually was
which
really
was
good.
actually really good.
And I wish did better than the other one.
Yeah,
It didn't.
No,
It's
it was
crazy.
under.
because it got released on streaming at the
Yeah.
same time.
Henry
Here,
Cavill might also be there to promote. He's doing a movie that I forget what her first name is. Millie Bobby Brown's doing another Holmes movie. What is?
Enola Holmes,
Yes, Sherlock Holmes' sister.
rumored to be the highest salary that anyone under 20 has ever gotten, right?
Yeah, at 10.5, 10.6, something like that.
Wow.
I'm glad it's a girl, especially when it comes to the heels of
Any
like,
British girl.
yeah.
Cora, can you put your fist down for a second and look for it? There we go.
Oh.
Yes.
Hey, hey, ladies.
I love it.
I wasn't
It
there.
reminds me of the Ghost Wrong show.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I was
Oh.
adjusting the picture and I said, wait, I can do this. So
This
I
will be
did.
this will be wonderful.
But yeah, Henry Cavill and whoever was played his
Zachary Levi.
older brother.
Oh,
No,
No.
I don't think so. Anyway, I was excited to see that, especially on the heels of the news that Margot Robbie earned more money than a woman ever has for a movie at 12.5. Tom Cruise cleared $100 million for this.
yeah.
Jesus.
This is, to be fair, upfront money.
It's science.
Not.
It's got to be something.
She probably has a piece of the action
Yeah.
on the other end too. But Ryan Gosling earned the same amount for playing not Barbie for that movie.
Mm.
So anyway, I'm happy for both of them. I think they're great for those roles. It just
Yeah.
made me mad that it's like the highest ever is like full.
Also
digit.
for playing Barbie. That's a little
But
rough.
it is Leona something. I don't know. The
Helmsley.
director. It's going to be dark. It's going to be a dark,
Barbie?
weird Barbie.
I'm excited. Like, no lie, I'm excited for Barbie. I will dress up in like hot pink bubblegum outfits to go see Barbie.
Is
Are
it
you
going
going
to
to
be like
doing Barbie or Ken?
You know what? That's a good question.
Yeah.
You do
Either-
like Hawaiian shirts.
Ooh, I could wear the short shorts for that.
I do like
Is
Hawaiian
it going to be like
shirts.
a dark like a
We don't
banana
know
splits type thing?
a ton about it. It was something
Or we
with
don't
the
know yet.
director. We know that
Greta Gerwig. It's the lady that did
Yeah.
Little Women and Ladybird.
yeah, Lady Bird is what always comes to my mind. But it's about her finding out there are other Barbies and other things and like stepping out of the idealized world. It's supposed to be upsetting.
Tomie.
Oh my god. She's gonna kill them.
I don't know when it's coming out. We'll see. There are other cast members also titled Barbie, so there's a lot of Barbies.
Nice.
Which
That's what
Don't
we
break
what we
the-
didn't get in the Multiverse of Madness. I made a Junji Ito
Oh,
reference.
yeah.
Gone. I'm gone.
I really wanted Ash Williams to show up in Doctor Strange.
yeah.
We
I
see
wanted
Star.
I wanted Bruce
I know we
Campbell. I wanted Bruce Campbell as a version of Doctor Strange. And
No, I
didn't
just
get
wanted
it.
straight Ash.
Just
Young
Ash.
I wanted
Yeah.
there to be like, oh, maybe we'll get... Because I think it's part of Marvel. Right? Like they have
The
the
Evil
comic book
Dead?
rights. No, yeah. They did an Army of Darkness versus Marvel Zombies.
That's amazing.
So I don't know if that like that means Marvel can only do
I don't
Evil
know.
Dead comics. But
So we have to wind up on time tonight because
Because
we're just
oh,
professionals.
Oh,
Professionals,
goodness.
and that's
No.
Any
why.
other tidbits we want to just throw?
Couple of tidbits.
Oh, that's good.
National Treasure: Edge of History, which is the new National Treasure TV show,
Edge
is
of-
apparently Harvey Keitel is coming back to his role as the FBI agent.
Hmm.
Amazing. Just a heads up: the "Our Flag Means Death" panel, Ships and Ships panel, isn't about "Our Flag Means Death," which makes me extremely angry. Also, Teen Wolf is getting a movie and a TV show, and the TV show is going to have Sarah Michelle Gellar and The TV show is going to have Sarah Michelle Gellar. And the movie is going to have no Dylan O'Brien as Styles, but it is going to have Crystal Reed as Allison, who famously is deceased. So we'll see how that works out.
Did you watch the trailer for that?
I did.
There's the
Oni.
people I wanted to see,
yes.
and the Oni.
Tyler
How do you do
Hoechlin.
an Oni with no Styles?
I don't know.
How do you do the movie with no Styles? Any other tidbits?
I got one. It's rumor, but we might be getting a Zatanna movie, and rumored to be starring in the role is singer Dua Lipa.
Ooh.
Very nice.
I don't know how I feel about that. I have not seen her act, but
I love her.
She has potential.
I mean, it could go one of several ways. It could go Rihanna and Beyonce, or it could go
she's got
a
some
good
nerve.
singer,
I thought you were
or
gonna
a
say-
good
I
actress.
thought
She
you were
has
going to
some
say
nerve.
Rihanna in Battleship.
But I actually like the Zatanna
That's
character.
that's an example of bad.
Right. That's what I thought you meant. You were going to tell.
Could
I
be
should
fun.
let Cora go first because
T.I. That's an example of a singer.
This is just a real quick thing. Make sure that you check whatever you are buying in the Square Enix online store, whether yes, this includes physical figures because they are starting to tack on NFTs to your purchase. In order to get your certificate of authenticity, you have to go to the digital wallet app in order to get it, and they have already stated that if that app crashes, because NFTs are not a thing that are going to be here forever, you just lose that certificate of authenticity. And they're putting that on pretty much everything that you buy in the store, specifically the new Cloud Strife figure that came out from Bring Art, so be careful. I believe the stuff from Final Fantasy XIV will be safe, specifically because the team has stated quite blatantly they do not want NFTs on their stuff. Also, Minecraft has banned NFTs, so that's also a safe game to play.
Hello.
Which is funny because the whole game looks like a QR code.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Which is part of the fun.
Yeah.
and why are we wrapping up so quickly? Because we're gonna go see Nope.
We're going to go see No.
So excited!
Look for some news on the TikTok right afterwards.
Yes.
Can I plug one more thing?
Yes.
Wow.
My Folding Chairs comedy troupe, we did a sketch for Nope.
Where can people see it?
Oh, come on. Oh, he's going to kill me. Well, just Folding Chairs Comedy Troupe on Facebook.
He's gonna provide me a link that I'm going to put in the description so
It's
that he doesn't get killed.
Do you have socials
cast
that you
members.
might have put it on as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Writer Danny Gallagher on Facebook. This is Danny G on Twitter.
This is Danny G on Twitter.
It's
Are
the
you
only
also-
Danny G thing I could find.
Are you also selling folding chairs?
No.
Oh.
Darn.
Well, we
You're-
should.
I can really
It's
use
not a
place
bad.
is
Actually,
safe.
it's not a bad idea if we
It's
sell
really
folding
not.
chairs. I mean, it's
Branded
it's on the
ones.
nose. No, we use folding chairs in our shows. So, and
All I'm saying, branding opportunity.
and it's punk. It's not the funniest name. So it's
This is Danny G on Twitter. Or you
Yes.
can find me at BetterCat on Twitter and Instagram sometimes.
Twitter and Instagram, The Good Cast. I copied her.
Twitter and Instagram at Corodono Art.
Twitter and Instagram at Jason the X.
We're going to go get spooked.
And of course, you can find us at SCNS Live on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, etc., etc., etc. And check out this weekend. We better be playing D&D
We're going to be
on
playing
Saturday.
D&D!
Check out supercoolnerdshow.com.
Supercoolnerdshow.com, 3 o'clock p.m. Saturday. And as we always like to say around here,
Keep on nerding.
nerding.
we say keep on nerding.
Oh.
Spooky movies.